Hi, welcome to Elizabeth's Kind Cafe. I'm Elizabeth Katzman, and I am joined today by Tom Lee. Tom is the president of the United Standard Water Treatment System. Tom, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Maybe we can start by talking a little bit about what got you involved in water filtration or water treatment.
You know, often they say that the reason that you're successful in life is inspiration and desperation. I think I was desperately inspired. Years ago, I was in the solar business, and the oil companies and the federal government decided that they didn't want to have a tax credit anymore, and I helped build the largest solar company in the world. $100 million company in 5 years. Wow. And well, most of the solar companies went out, and I can't imagine what would happen if they were still around as far as alternative energy. Can you imagine how remarkable that would be today?
It's so sad. It's so sad
it was so sad. And just hundreds of thousands of people were out there without jobs. And I said, this is not going to happen. We're going to get something back into something that's environmentally exciting. And we just took the same company and we moved it into water.
So the environment's always been first on your mind.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we decided to do. Something that we could, put our hearts and our souls into, a mission, a purpose, a cause, because that's really what a company's all about. The selling is easy. It's the believing in what you do that's the hard part. Right. So what we did is we developed a water company, and we built it to the third largest in America within about a 5-year period.
And how long ago was that you started?
Yeah, well, this is 30 years ago. Okay. I've been in the business for 30 years.
So you were ahead of your time, because I don't think that people were thinking a whole lot about water filtration at that time.
We were way ahead of our time. Yeah. As a matter of fact, to give you an example, is back then it was water softeners, and that's about all that it was in the water treatment business. And with our company, we decided to really pursue the environmental issue part of it, the pollution that was going on. How do we take that out of the water? How do we make this safe? So that was the avenue that we took.
What is the difference between softener and filtration?
Okay, well, softener basically is, you've heard about people who live out in the country and their soap doesn't lather up, so they have to put a water softener in, and it makes the water soft. You take the calcium and the magnesium out of the water by using a salt. You've seen the salt brine tanks and things like that, and it saves you on your soap and cleaning items is what it does.
Right, because you need smaller amounts then.
Yeah, you need smaller amounts of that. So we said, well, let's take that and add some things to it. Let's purify the water. And so we went on a mission, and we opened one office every 7 days. And it was built on water pollution, taking things out of the water, teaching people about what was going on in the environment. Well, it just had an incredible effect. The people went in with this big belief in their heart, and we hired people that knew nothing about selling, but they had this purpose and cause. Well, I worked for the company for many years, and I decided I no longer wanted to work for McDonald's, that I wanted to work for my own McDonald's, and own my own McDonald's store, so to speak. So I came to Michigan, and this is where I wanted to come because there was lots of water here, and I came up here and opened a few offices, and I just loved the people. I loved the environment. It was a beautiful state. And I said, don't let this happen here. Let's do something. Let's have our mission, our cause up here. Well, I opened up 10 offices in 5 months. Huh. That was my job originally, so I knew how to do that. Yeah. We became one of the top small companies in Michigan, and I became the largest distributor of all companies in America at that point. Well, we had 350 employees and put about 6,000 systems in a year.
Doesn't Michigan have great water? Why do people need a filtration?
I guess in terms of recreational and things like that. But when it comes down to what we've done as an industry, we had high industry here, agricultural runoff, and now we have a lot of other things going on. It's an industrial, agricultural state, and we have all of this runoff, and we have all these byproducts. And where do they go? It all ends up in the water.
Right. And so I should probably say sort of what led me to you, and that is, I had been thinking about getting a water treatment system for quite a while, and it's hard to know who to trust. I had been looking around for a long time. The catalyst for me really was that I had heard that chlorine was really harmful. I've got small kids who take baths. When their pores are open in a warm bath, it's the same as drinking it in their mouths, and that was a concern for me. Maybe we could talk a little bit about why chlorine is an issue and how to find a reputable dealer such as yourself. I mean, I found you because you had done a million homes around me, and we knew doctors and everybody in common, so I knew I could trust you.
Well, we basically have a customer on every block. We have 30,000 pieces of equipment in Metro Detroit.
Right.
It's pretty much unheard of. But, we hear it all the time, especially in the organic, we deal with a lot of organic people, holistic people, and they always say, I say, why haven't you bought a water treatment system? I know what they're going to say to me, but that's the first thing that they probably should have done. They say, I didn't know who to buy it from, how much to pay for it, or who to trust.
Right.
And so they always put it on the back burner. Well, our philosophy is simply that we go out and we do the test right there in your home. Always buy a product through a reputable dealer. You never buy it from a big box store, from Uncle Vinny who's selling the latest thing out of his trunk.
Right.
And understand this, we don't sell exotic equipment that produces miracle cures. Okay? We're professionals in the water treatment business with the Water Quality Association. Our equipment, and when you do buy water treatment, always make sure that it's been certified, that it's been tested by somebody.
Yeah.
Not the company who made it, but a third-party validation.
Right.
And that's what you first look for. Mm-hmm. And what was the other part of your question?
Was the chlorine, that was the catalyst for me when I was really concerned.
Absolutely.
So why is chlorine such a
Well,
big
it's an aesthetic, and to begin with, it smells, okay?
It does.
And of course in the paper, over the last 3 or 4 years, 5 years, you've been reading articles. One of those articles is that chlorine causes bladder cancer, and bladder operations are up by 80%. These are things that are in the paper on a daily basis. When you take water from a river and you chlorinate it, you have tremendous byproducts. One of those byproducts is trihalomethanes. And the trihalomethanes are one of the things that the city tries to keep down. And as far as we know, the water that comes to your house is legally safe.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You see?
Legally safe.
Legally safe.
Yeah.
They test for 81 chemicals. 60,000 of them are out there in the environment. But they aren't regulated to test for those. So one of them is the trihalomethanes because they're carcinogenic. It is a byproduct of chlorination, okay, from like river water, lake water that has high tannins or high organic matter in it. And then when you heat that same water, it turns to chloroform, which is, it's a carcinogen. It's the #1 indoor health hazard in America today is a hot shower.
Right, it's not what you want to be showering in and bathing in.
Well, you can actually sit in a shower and drink pretty much about as much chlorine as if you were taking a shower in it. But you have to understand, when you turn your hot water on, the steam that comes out, there's all these products in there, byproducts or benzenes or whatever, that can evaporate, and you can breathe these things. They do absorb into the body, okay?
What about fluoride? Because that's another ingredient that's a concern.
Yeah, the fluoride, that's been controversial for many years, and I've been following that. You have to understand, I've been organic for 25 years. I've been in this business for 30 years, and I read 4 or 5 newspapers a day, and I'm constantly studying. Like any other business, this isn't something to just pick up and you start selling.
Right.
We're professionals in the business. And fluoride, the biggest problem is the synergistic effect of fluoride. You get it in your toothpaste, the dentist wants to use it, it's in pop, it's in your food sources, and it's also in your water. So you add these all together and it causes a lot of questionable things health-wise. For example, 1 in 5 children in America today have mottling of the teeth, which is a discoloration of the teeth, okay?
So fluoride isn't good for your teeth?
Well, let's just say 1 in 5 children in America have mottled teeth. If you want brown teeth, it causes skeletal fluorosis in young children, okay? The Mayo Clinic has stopped using it for osteoporosis because it creates brittle bone across Europe. It's been outlawed in many areas in the United States, the same thing.
So I think people think fluoride is good for strong bones when in fact
it actually builds, it doesn't build a strong bone, it actually builds a fragile bone. As a matter of fact, a study done in Good Housekeeping was that if you drink fluoride for 20 years, you have a 40% increase in bone breakage. Now, understand, I'm not a doctor. I'm a water treatment specialist. I don't want to, it's hard for me. I can comment on that. But my job is if you don't want fluoride in your water, then I take that out. If you don't want arsenic in your water, then I take that out. And I don't take it out with some little gimmick that you put on your water, or some little gimmick that I'm selling out of the back of my car. We're professionals. We have to do certain things. We work with the periodic table, and we say this is in your water. This is the equipment that we have to take it out with. Okay, not one thing is going to take it out. For example, people always ask me, what type of equipment do you have?
Right.
I don't have a type of equipment. I have all types of equipment. You don't take arsenic out with an alkalizer. You don't take, iron out with stuff that you put on your faucet and things like that. So we have to test your water. Then we have to determine what's best for you in your price range and handle it that way.
And how do you take out, you hear so much lately about the pharmaceuticals that are in the water. Is there a way to get that out? Are the particles too small? Or?
Well, I've heard, this is something that I've studied so in depth. I don't think there's very many people that can sit at the same table with me and understand what's really going on out there and know how to take it out. Pharmaceuticals, they can mix and create exotic types of things, but there is new applications that they say reverse osmosis with carbon, combined with carbon and other things can take that out. So I don't want people to be confused that they can run down to the store and buy a reverse osmosis system and it's going to take the pharmaceuticals out, because that's not a fact. It's the type of membranes that are in the reverse osmosis systems, the types of carbons, and these flow rates of your water and the composition of your water. All these things have to be determined by a professional. Somebody who's local, licensed, reputable, and here to stay, that can service your system for the rest of your life.
That reverse osmosis is what kept coming up when I was doing my research and trying to decide which system to get. And
right.
Everyone was saying that's the gold standard, that's what you should have. And that is, in fact,
yes,
not the case as far as I'm concerned after finishing my research. And what's your opinion on that?
Okay, that's a good question. Reverse osmosis is just one portion of basically a multi-stage system. Mm-hmm. So if you have fluoride and you want that out, reverse osmosis is one way to take that out, coupled with some other things. Now, with our system, we couple that with some other proprietary things to make sure we take all the fluoride out, because reverse osmosis won't take all the fluoride out, okay? It'll take some of the fluoride out. And you'll see a lot of equipment that's out there that'll say up to, reduces, all of these kinds of things.
Right, but not
that's
eliminate.
Pretty misleading, yeah. Okay? So, but it doesn't take all of that out. So it takes a professional and somebody who's really on the leading edge of this kind of technology to say, hey, wait a minute, let's do this, this, and this, and it'll take all the fluoride out. Or if you were to have some type of immunity problem and a challenge that you wanted ultraviolet lights on your system, today we're putting ultraviolet on just about everything, because we're finding, particularly wells, we're finding all types of things in wells we've never found before. The funny thing is, I picked this up this morning, and it was saying amoebas are common in the drinking water. Amoebas are literally getting inside of bacteria, and they're immune to chlorine, sliding through the water, getting into your body, going up into your cornea, getting between your contact lens, and causing blindness. This is in Scientific magazine here. I've never seen the magazine Science News, okay? And it says that it also starts it starts diseases, and I've never heard this before. It's pretty fascinating.
This just came out?
Yeah, it just came out, where these the bacteria, the amoebas are actually getting inside of the bacteria, and so people that have these immune challenges and things like that, we're putting these on because a lot of these things grow in your shower heads.
But even though your system has not anticipated that, it will still get it out before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, that's why it takes a professional to do these things. This is not...
Right, because new problems are constantly occurring.
Every day. Yesterday I picked up, one of my magazines came in, and it said that salmonella has now made the jump to wells, and they think that C. diff has actually made that jump. So these are things that are happening that we have to be on the leading edge, that are four-log bacterias that we know how to get out, making sure that those people, not only that we just put it in, but continued service on that system so that they have pure water, not today, not tomorrow, but the whole year, and then every year we come out. We don't allow our customers to service their own systems. We service them, we call them, it's time, so we go out and we make the tests.
And how
we
long
change
does
the
the system last?
Well, it all depends on the system. We have a combination that we're using right now for what we call runoff water, which is basically your local tap water. And I've got almost 25,000 pieces of equipment installed, and they're at 25 years. We anticipate them outlasting the people that bought them. So we have a 10-year warranty, labor, so you don't have a maintenance contract, and then it's a limited lifetime guarantee on most of our products because we know they work.
Oh, that's incredible.
How do we know they work? We've been in the business that long.
Well, I really appreciate your coming on today and
Yes.
explaining a little bit more about what you do and the importance of having a water treatment system. If you'd like more information about United Standard Water Treatment System, you can call Tom Lee at 248-318-1554. I'll also have information on my website, elizabethskindcafe.com. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next time.
It's time again, folks, for Inhaler Wrestling. And what a night we've got for you tonight. CFC Inhalers, the polluting inhalers of yesterday, are going to take on the new kids on the block, CFC Free Inhalers.
Jack, it's going to be a great night. All these inhalers deliver the exact same medicine, but CFC Free Inhalers have a definite edge. They don't pollute the environment.
And that's the bell. Oh, and the CFC Free Inhalers come up with a massive puffer puff puff. That's gotta hurt. CFCs are back up, and wow, a flawless double time over the top inhaler impaler. Just beautiful.
You know, Jack, when you manage your asthma, this is the kind of wrestling move you can really perfect.
Have you got asthma? Ask your doctor about the new inhalers and call or visit the American Lung Association online to learn more.
Hi, today we're going to be making vegan pumpkin pie. Noah, you going to help me?
Yeah.
My 4-year-old son Noah is going to be helping me. Are you all set?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start with tofu.
Tofu.
What are we going to do?
Tofu.
Tofu. So it needs about 12 ounces. Standard package of tofu has 14, so I cut just about 2 ounces away. And then I pat it dry with a paper towel and drain it because it comes packed with a lot of water. And then we're going to take the 12 ounces of tofu and put it in the blender. And then you want 2 cups of pumpkin pie puree, or if pumpkins are not in season, you can buy a mix. This is organic, and 1 can is just a little less than 2 cups, and so that'll do it. Right, Noah? And pumpkins are full of beta-carotene, vitamin C. They have very anti-inflammatory properties. They're great for your vision as you get older. So.
I want to do.
Well, I gotta scoop the can out, buddy. But you can help me with the other stuff. And I like to let Noah help me cook. So he has an appreciation for his food and where it comes from, right, Noah? And it also helps him learn how to measure. So he's gonna help me do some measuring. We're gonna do.
Wait.
Well, I'm gonna scoop it and then you're gonna put it in. So this is a half a teaspoon salt.
I have it.
Would you like to dump it in? Okay, 1 little taste. You gotta dump it?
No, I could do it by myself.
Okay. Got it? Good. Okay, and then.
Looks like bug yummy.
It looks like what?
Looks like bug yummy.
Oh, okay.
To me.
And then we're gonna do, to you it does, and then we're gonna do a teaspoon and a half of cinnamon. So I like to pour it in, then Noah will dump it, right? And now we're gonna do a half. Hang on. Ready? Dump it. Okay, and then we're gonna do 1/4 of a teaspoon ground nutmeg.
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg. Noah, do you like nutmeg?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna do 1/4 of a teaspoon ginger.
Ginger, okay. I do.
You can dump it. Ready? And then 1/8 of a teaspoon garlic cloves.
Garlic?
So just I'm sorry, ground cloves. Definitely not garlic. More ground cloves. Now, doesn't it smell good? Can you smell that? Yummy. You want to dump that in? Okay, and we're almost done. This is such a fast and easy recipe for pumpkin pie. I love it. We're gonna do a half of a cup of brown sugar, organic. Noah, you want some to pour this in?
Yeah, I want to eat it.
After you pour it in? Or at the same time? Okay, and then we're gonna do a half of a cup of maple syrup. And we are almost ready. Noah, you can, that's a lot of maple syrup, isn't
I
it?
do it by myself.
And then we're gonna do a fourth of a cup cornstarch. This is gonna help bind it. This is one of the reasons it is vegan, because we're not using eggs or milk or butter to bind it together. Wait, hang on one second. I just put a little too much in. We're gonna take a little off. There we go. A fourth of a cup. Ready? And then we're gonna put it all in the blender.
Okay.
For just a second. Ready, Noah? Do you need to cover your ears? All right, so now that we have blended it for probably a little less than a minute, we're gonna pour it all.
Can I pour it all by myself?
You can help me. We're gonna pour it all into the crust. And
I pour it all by myself?
No, we're doing it together, sweetheart. This is an organic crust from, I think it's called Aero Farms. I got it at Whole Foods. There's no dairy in it. I've tried different recipes for crust, but none that I like as much as this one. Because you can taste it. They tend to be a little dry. So this is it. We're gonna throw it in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes. Let it cool for about a half an hour.
Can I have that?
And sure. And then you have a very healthy dessert. You can have, yeah, there's just a, well, we're gonna keep, I'll get you a bowl. There's a small amount of fat, like a really small amount, maybe just 2 or 3 grams. So this is a great healthy. Sure, I'll get you. Let me get you a bowl. It's a great. Well, you have to wait a minute, okay, honey? Stand up. You can stand up here and wait for a minute. So this is a great alternative to a fattening pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving or any time during the year. So thank you so much. Thank you, Noah, for helping me, and thank you for coming to Elizabeth's Kind Cafe. And we will see you next time.